Hello everybody, my name is Chad Barker. I'm going to show you today how to put together a drawer, microwave drawer cabinet with a cabinet underneath. I'm going to show you how to do this whole unit right here from the specs. So basically from scratch we're going to get started and build this whole cabinet unit right here. So basically what we're going to do, kind of a general overview here, is we're going to stack two cabinets. We're going to stack a wall appliance case cabinet on top of a drawer, a single drawer base cabinet. Okay, so what we're going to do is get started here. I'm going to open up Cabinet Vision, and I've already pulled out both of the cabinets we're going to be looking at here. And what I have here is a wall appliance case cabinet. I'm going to show you what that looks like on our website. Okay, so go to Wall Cabinets, and then find the appliance cabinet category. And we have a few different appliance case cabinets that we can choose from. In this case, we can use one of the two. We can either use this one right here, which is basically the ones with the wide stiles, and the wide style cabinet is probably really not necessary for this. This is more for like if you're going to do like a microwave above a wall oven, and say the microwave's 24 or 27 inches wide, and the ovens underneath are going to be like 20 or 30 inches wide. You need to have this to kind of balance it out, because there's a difference in width between the two different appliances. Okay, so we're not going to use that one. Let's use the appliance case, just a standard one. It's just where it's got a case going around around the opening. So it's basically, top, bottom, and sides. And here's a little bit more of a side view. So we're going to stack that, and we're going to stack that on top of a base cabinet here. And we're going to do a single drawer base cabinet in this example. Single drawer base cabinet underneath, and really pretty simple stack operation here. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is pull up the specs. Now, if you don't know, if you have your product number, even if you have an older existing microwave drawer, you can still pull up their specs by just finding out their code. In this case, this would be the code. It's the VM0D241SS. And this one is this is not the microwave drawer we're going to be laying out today, but I thought I'd open up a couple of these. This is a Viking microwave, and this is a Decor. And these are all on AJ Madison's website. Now, if you go down here, there's some tabs. Go over to Info and Guides, and then click the installation guide. And that's going to pull up some different options here for planning purposes. You should be able to find a picture like this within the specs. That's going to show you the opening width, the opening height, and the opening depth needed. And now this one right here is the Decor model that I just did there. We're going to be doing a layout for a Sharp model, but I thought I'd look at some key differences here between a few different products. Okay, here's the Sharp model that we're going to be doing the layout for. As a customer suggested, they already gave me the number and the specs, so I'm going to have to use this one for this example. There's one certain thing that we were looking at here that we're going to want to get started at, and that's going to be the overlay or overlap dimension. It's this one right here. This Sharp microwave is asking for a 7/8 of an inch overlap on each side, on this side as well as on this side of the opening. Now, as we all know, our cabinet cases are made out of 3/4 inch thick plywood. Now, that 3/4 inch thick plywood on the face is going to have the edge banding on it, and that's going to create kind of the face of the cabinet that we're looking at here. Now, it's very odd. I've actually never seen one like this where they actually required 7/8 of an inch. That's very weird. One thing you can look at is looking at some other competitors. This right here is the Decor. They're asking for a 3/4 overlap, which is very standard in this day and age. That's very standard. Let's look at another one just for an example. Here's the Viking version. A little bit more expensive, it's a few $100s more. They're also asking for 3/4. So I'm not sure why they asked for 7/8 of an inch. I'm going to show you how to get around that. Anyway, it's very odd to me. So what we're going to do here is take the cabinet minimum. We're going to take the minimum cabinet width, which is 24 inches. And we're going to need at least a 22 1/8 opening width. Okay, so obviously we're not going to be able to achieve a 7/8 overlap or a side thickness of 7/8 of an inch. So we're just going to increase the opening just a little bit so that the overlap, stays on the face of our cabinet. So in this case, you're really not going to look at the opening width. You're going to be looking at the cabinet minimum. So that's going to be 24 inches. So let's plug that into Cabinet Vision. I'm going to go right here and plug in 24 inches for the width of my cabinet. And then we're going to make sure that the opening, or the interior, obviously, of our cabinet is is more than 22 and 1/8, which is what it was requiring. And we're at 22 and 9/16, so we have a little bit of playroom there. So when you get this thing installed, you're going to have a little bit of extra wiggle room on the inside there. Now, the actual overall unit size for this guy is going to probably be somewhere close to 24 inches. Most likely it's going to be 23 and 15/16, or 23 and 7/8. So that's going to fit nicely on the face of the cabinet as far as the width is concerned. It's going to have a little bit of face frame showing, or a little bit of the face of the cabinet case showing. Okay, so that's the width. So we're going to go with a 24-inch cabinet width in this example. Now let's figure out the opening height. So the opening height is 14 and 13/16. Again, that's kind of a weird one. Let's take a look at the opening height here. 14 and 13/16. Same thing for the Viking. And look at the decor. Which one is that? Let's see here. Opening height, opening height. There we go. Q. So 5 and 3/16. So they're all pretty similar. But we are doing the layout for this sharp version. So let's do 14 and 13/16. So we know that the opening height needs to be 14 and 13/16. Now the top and bottom are 3/4 of an inch. So that's going to be, you take 14 and 13 divided by 1/6, and we're going to add 1.5 inches, or really 3/4 on the bottom and 3/4 on the top. We get 16 and 5/16 for the height. And obviously we only do 1/4 inch increments, so let's see here where we're at. So we're going to order this cabinet at 16 and 1/2 inches. You're going to have a little bit extra wiggle room, obviously, for your microwave height. So we got the width of 24, and we have a height of 16 and 1/2, which is this guy right here. Okay, and that's just about, it's like a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch for extra height there that we put on the inside. Now remember, these things are all estimates. A lot of these guys, when they put the opening heights in there, they're not telling you you have to be dead on exact. And you should be as close as possible, but you always want to go their minimum. This is 14 and 3/16 minimum. Sorry, 14 and 13/16 minimum. We're adding just a little bit on there, so a little bit extra playroom to go with the standards of our cabinet line. And another thing to factor in here, since we already know the width and the height, we're going to look at the depth now. So the minimum depth here is 23 and 1/2. Again, that's a lot of depth. We have in our wall appliance case cabinet. Let's pull that up again. We have 2 nailers back here that are required. That's basically just so that we can keep the cabinet all together. Okay, and that's pretty much common with most cabinets. Now you can do 2 different options here. Number 1, you can assemble this cabinet without the nailers. Number 2, you can increase the depth of this cabinet, or increase the depth of your cabinet run. Now I wouldn't recommend that, because most people are going to be using a 24-inch deep cabinet, and they're going to house their microwave in this 24-inch deep cabinet. So most likely what you're going to want to do here is just not install the nailers at the back of the cabinet. There's nothing wrong with it. The nailers are just there for extra support, because we use these appliance cabinets for like double ovens and single ovens that weigh like 300 or 400 pounds. So they're extremely heavy duty. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go back to cabinet vision here, and we know the depth is going to be 24, so we got all of our sizes. All right, so what I did here, width is 24. Let's see if I can draw this in for you. Width is 24, height 16 and 1/2, and depth is 24 inches. Okay, so that's that guy right there. Now, most likely you're going to be ordering a base cabinet underneath, and what we're going to do here, since we know it's 16 and 1/2, our standard cabinet height that we typically order is going to be 34 and 1/2. Okay, so we're going to take the base 1 drawer cabinet, if I can zoom in on it here, take the height of 34 and 1/2, subtract, we're going to subtract the height of the wall appliance case cabinet. And then we're going to set this one right there on top of it. So the height of our base cabinet here is now 18, which is pretty standard. That's a good height. There we go. So I got my height of the single drawer base cabinet. It's obviously going to be the same width as the one above it. So single drawer base cabinet is going to be a width of 24, a height of 18, and a depth of 24. The width of the appliance cabinet, obviously, again, like I said, is 24, 16 by 16 and 1/2 tall by 24 deep. Now let's take a look at this in 3D. Let's give you a better idea of what's going on here. All right. So basically, this is the guy. This is kind of what we're looking at. kind of texture this in for you. See if we can get something that looks nice. There we go. Okay, so basically there you go. You just have an in panel obviously applied here to conform to what we were doing on this drawing. So we had an in panel right there. It's kind of hard to see because our logo is right in the way, but that's pretty much what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to post this thing on the forum right here for the other customer, and then we'll get back to you. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thanks again. Have a great day.